know whose turn it is, but
welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew.
And my name is Emily.
And I found some old headphones of mine.
Cool. Congratulations. Are they different from your old ones? Why are you telling us that?
Oh, I just forgot that I had them. So these are the ones I've been using for the podcast for forever.
They're Audio Technicas for the listeners.
ATH-M30X. Nothing particularly special, but they get the job done.
Which is funny because I remember studying audio stuff in college and everyone was like, Audio Technica is the best. And now I'm a little bit older. Everyone's like, it's fine. I think it's probably like the best for the money at that point.
These ones feel flat enough in the mid to upper ranges, but they just handle the low end really poorly.
Yeah. They're not my AKG K701s.
Yep. But these guys are Sony MDR XB450s.
Oh, they're on ears?
But
they're on ears, they're not over.
Yeah, they're on ears. They're consumer grade. Definitely not meant for mixing.
Yeah.
But
do you like them?
They've got such a solid bass response. So listening to a lot of music is just a little bit more enjoyable, especially if I've just like I was up late last night studying on some materials, and yeah,
nice,
just really nice and thumpy.
Did you see that AKG had me in an Instagram reel?
I did.
Pretty cool.
You want to know what I did when I saw that?
What?
I started looking at AKG headphones.
Good.
Because I want to replace these Audio Technicas. I've been wanting to replace them for forever.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. I know you and I have had conversations about that in the past.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Yeah. You're clipping a little bit.
I
could just see your wave go. I just saw your wave go. It's like, oh, bummer.
Yeah, just a little off the top.
Just a skosh. We can mix a little quieter.
Yeah.
I like to mix a little quiet.
Hey, Barber, I'd like the Marine. Say no more. Just flat top.
Flat off the top. I got to demo something fun at the end of last week.
Yeah, you did.
It was orange.
Yeah, it is.
It is the official American / worldwide version of the formerly Japanese special release, the Special Cranker.
Yep.
And it's only 99 bones. It's only $99. How?
Oh, we will talk about how. But the important thing is.
Yeah, so it's a little distortion pedal. The speaker cranker, everyone always thought it was a boost, but I'm pretty sure it was just like a one knob distortion.
Mm-hmm.
And was discontinued. But the Special Cranker is level more, which is gain, and tone. It doesn't get overly trebly, but there's plenty of bass for you there. And then it goes from germanium to silicon diodes. The silicon's a little more modern, louder, smoother, and the germanium is pretty tasty as well. Yep.
So the interesting thing, I was reading, I think Carl Vorndran was posting some stuff about it in some of the Facebook groups. And the explanation he gave is that it's, a lot of overdrive distortion dirt pedals roll off a lot of the low end dirt. And this one's designed to be a lot more flat frequency all the way around to allow your amp to sound exactly how it should, just with a little bit more oomph, which I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of fun with this. I'm going to try putting this on my bass board for tour.
Yep.
I played it on bass in the demo, but I didn't play it on bass. I mean, in the intro in the demo, but I didn't play it on bass in the actual demo. And I didn't really spend a ton of time with it, just because I had time restrictions.
Sure.
But I am. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. So it did. That demo did really well. I remember I asked them, like, hey, what time should I launch on Friday? They're like, anytime. So I'm like, oh, so 9 p.m. Thursday Pacific then.
Yep.
And so I was kind of waiting, and I saw Emily Hopkins posted around then, and I just waited a little bit. I watched hers, and then I launched mine.
There you go.
No regrets.
R-A-G-R-E-T-S.
Still waiting for people to buy it through our affiliate links. And if you have anything that you would like to buy, listener/viewer, we have affiliate links in the video description. It's a great way to support the podcast, support the channel. And it doesn't cost you any extra money. It's just you helping us out doing things you were going to do anyway. Let's be honest with ourselves and each other. So we have those for Sweetwater, Perfect Circuit, Reverb, Seymour Duncan. And if you want to learn more, Coach Guitar Affiliate. My personal favorite is the Sweetwater one.
Oh, for sure. Sweetwater's been rocking it lately.
Mm-hmm. They've been really good to us. And they were so generous at the Guitar House.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And, the nice thing is like Sweetwater, the S isn't secretly like a bass guitar or something.
People are so mad that Guitar Center, like people were so mad that they were like, it went briefly viral recently that Guitar Center had been pulling folks over, like making the guitar a G. They're like, oh man, Guitar Center's really going for it, trying to pass that guitar off as a G. And then it's almost like they saw that, reacted to that, and now everyone's like, bring back the guitar G. Like, you can't win. So just like, no, I think the font is like boring but better, because I thought the font before was bad.
So here's my thing: is I'm fine with the font change. I wish. All right, so here's my thoughts here. From a business management perspective, their number one problem has never been their logo, ever.
No.
And in terms of brand identity, changing the guitar, moving the guitar over and adding a G is just you just changed a logo that was there for 50, like a fundamental part of the logo that was there for 50 years and has been a part of the brand identity, to try and appease a random apportionment of your target audience. Come on.
They didn't change it that much. They scooted it over.
Just a scooch. But it's enough that's annoying. And I wish that they had doubled down on their brand identity and moved on to fix things that were actually in need of fixing.
Yeah. I mean, their inventory system.
Their inventory system is one of the major things that I constantly see complaints about on forums, which is So
can you explain that for people who don't understand what the problem is when we talk about Guitar Center's inventory system? Famously bad. I would love for Andrew to elucidate.
Yeah. So there's the famous green screen. So the POS system, which is a POS, point of sales, is just there. It looks like it's out of the Matrix. It's just a plain black. It's a console. So a plain black screen. You can't use a mouse with it. It's all keyboard input. And it's got a lot of information in it. And it does sync from store to store, but it doesn't necessarily sync in real time. And it most certainly does not sync with their online store, which is a different system in real time. Yeah. So when I was there, the online store was called SPO 4.0 or 3.0, something like that. And then green screen was what we called it in the store. Now I don't think green screen was the official name. So yeah, it might be different from region to region, but you got two different systems running the same exact inventory, because anything you could buy in the store can be bought online. And this becomes a problem with used gear in particular. So if you're shopping for equipment online and you see something used from Guitar Center, a couple of things that really bother me. One, they charge you for shipping for used gear, and not like at a cheap rate. Which is,
well, why can you explain why that bothers you? Do they not charge that for new gear?
They don't. I don't think they charge that for new gear.
Oh,
yeah. So it that just bothers me on a certain level. But the more important thing is, if you buy something online, you might realize that like 3 days later it has not shipped, and then you'll see a refund notice. And here's what happens is, because the online store does not sync with the in-store inventory, you go to buy it online. What happens is there's a printer in the operations department, so just back in the warehouse, that prints off here, go grab this item and go get it shipped. But people aren't checking that all of the time. There's not a dedicated person on staff that just sits there and waits patiently going, is it going to print? Come on, it's going to print. Just like this.
Because that would be
absurd.
Yeah.
So, people get to it and they get to it, and it gets checked 2-3 times a day, usually, a couple different stores that I worked at. But if a customer in the store, like the entire time after that's printed, before that gets touched, that used item is sitting out on the store floor.
The store floor, available for sale.
And if it's made it to the website, that means it's past whatever like local police hold that it has, which means someone can purchase it and walk off with it at any given time. Now, if it's on a police hold, it won't go to the website. So like say to California, when you buy used gear, it's got to sit in the store for 30 days in case it's stolen. So we report the serial number and everything like that. So to the police database. After that time has passed, it goes up onto the website and it can be purchased for sale and immediately walk out the front door. So what happens all the time is people, when they're scrolling through Guitar Center, find a really good deal on something, go to purchase it, and then they get refunded. And that's just frustrating. It's also worth noting that all the point of sale systems that they've been running, and with my luck now, I'm saying this now in 2022, and they're getting ready to update this. And dear God, I hope they do.
I hope they do. Yeah. We don't want to say this like just our luck. We bitch about it and they fix it. I want them to fix it.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Guitar Center's legacy brand that deserves more. That's the same kind of category I put a couple of the other major legacy brands into. But yeah, the point of sale system's super slow. Just very old computers that barely run. When we have to check our Outlook, the amount of time it takes to load is just absurd because the network connections are so slow. So I get that it would be a major infrastructure upgrade to replace point of sale systems, to update networks in each of the stores, and to create one big inventory system that actually syncs with everything in real time. Because in an ideal world, someone goes to purchase something in the store and they say, oh, sorry, this one's no longer available or something, or it just gets pulled more immediately.
Yeah. And listeners / viewers, don't get it twisted. We understand that's very hard.
Yep.
Yeah. We know it's a big ask, but I think that right now, like the people who understand how bad the POS is, like they know that they have to call that store and be like, can you go ship it now?
Sure.
If I buy it right now, will you please go ship it right now and take it off the floor?
Yep.
So like, just so that
always
now
call the store.
know, so that you now know, dear listener / viewer / reader, go do that.
Yep.
That's your solution. That's your cyber solution.
Always call the store and not just get them to say, yeah, we can do that for you. Ask them if they can physically put their hands on it.
Yeah.
It's nothing against people that work at Guitar Center because they get busy, they get sidetracked. All it takes is for someone to walk and say, hey, boss, you got a minute? I got some questions. And they get sidetracked. And that's all it takes for someone else to go buy that product. Get them to physically.
Think about how sidetracked that you can get as a human being when you're doing something. And your kid comes up and says,
one of my favorite managers at Guitar Center referred to it as spinning plates. And they want it, the goal is to be able to juggle 3 to 5 customers at any given time. And all of their needs, and just kind of project manage that in the back of your head without pen and paper.
That's tough.
So the script is, hey, do you guys, has this sold locally? I see it's on the website. Is it still available? The next step is, can you put your hands on it physically and just ask any questions that you have left about does it have any dings that weren't pictured on the website? How's the action looking? And, if you get somebody in the guitar department, you're looking to use guitar, they'll be able to give you a quick look at it and just might not be the most accurate, but at least it gives you a better idea of what you've got before it comes shipping over. And then you say, can you please go put this in the operations shipping desk as I'm about to purchase it, which means take it off of the sales floor entirely, go put it back in the warehouse for me. When you've done that, so they'll put you on hold and like, when you do that, pick it, let me know. And then I'll go ahead and hit send. I've got all my information punched in, ready to go. Yeah.
And not a moment sooner.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it when I purchase from them.
That's a pro tip. You should do a whole video about how to buy used stuff on Guitar Center. Just you.
Yeah, maybe.
From a former employee, how to really buy used stuff from Guitar Center. Will they haggle with you on the phone like that?
Like haggle in terms of like pricing or
Yeah.
no? If it's on the website, it's pretty well set. If you're in the store, you've got a manager that might be able to play around with it a little bit, but only they've been moving further and further away from haggling.
Yeah.
And I think honestly,
I think everyone's moving farther away from that, like cars. Because Rick and I were looking at cars yesterday. We actually went to a Toyota dealership, and they're like, we have 15 new cars on the lot. That's it. End of list. 15 new cars, because they sell everything in advance. They get a VIN number when it's about to be like put onto freight. And then they sell that to people who are test driving like the 2019 version of that car.
Right.
So Eric and I test drove like some 2019 car, and we were like, well, this is not impressive, but like honestly, they could have sold it to us if one. So we really wanted to get a plug-in hybrid, which isn't available in Seattle, but sometimes they get them used. And we told them like, well, if you'd still had that used one, we would have like walked away with it that day. And then the guy says, I don't like that one as much as just the normal hybrid. I don't like the ride. And I just, without like my stupid freaking brain said, you're a car salesman. And his like subordinate laughed. And I was like, why did I say that?
No, play hardball with them. That's fine.
And I talked to Rick later, and Rick was just like, without saying anything, it's like, it's because he told you, no, you don't want that. You want the thing that I actually do have.
Right.
And it was annoying. And then Rick said, and then he looked at our address and he said something about our neighborhood. He's like, oh, yeah, this will ride real smooth on all those potholes you got over there. And we're like, screw you. What's wrong with you? Why are you insulting our neighborhood, jackass?
Yep.
Who does that? So we're like, man, we absolutely, like, if he still had that plug-in hybrid, we totally would have like walked away with a new car. But like, and if he had been like nicer, maybe we would have like ordered one. But
sure,
he just, like, insulted our neighborhood. Who does that? But yeah, but we weren't.
That's a supply chain thing, though, in terms of like the haggling with cars. I mean, they know that they've got 15 cars, and they know that there's 100 people who are looking to buy that, and not a single one of. And if one person wants to haggle, the next person won't.
But like the 2019 that we were writing in had 35,000 miles and was selling for new prices.
Yes. There's
no, like, that's the car thing. Like, there's no stock. And I don't know. I don't really think that's particularly the guitar thing. At least
it depends.
It depends. Yeah.
Absolutely depends. And, you know, with used gear, some of that's going to be, you know, hard to find.
Yeah.
Some of it's going to be overabundant. I mean, every Guitar Center has like 8, you know, DS1s in the used cabinet that just aren't necessarily on the floor.
And it depends on how long it's been there.
Right.
And how easy it's going to be to get another one.
But
like, oh, well, they don't make these anymore.
Guitar Center as a company, though, has been moving away from the haggling for a very long time.
Yeah.
They've restructured, you know, their compensation for the sales associates to reflect that, compensation for managers. All of that has been pushing away. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Coming back full circle, I really just wish Guitar Center would do something like address that. There are out of box point of sale SaaS solutions that are available that would work. That would also work with a web app. They just have to hire a couple of developers to work on that, and then hire some integration companies come out and swap all the PCs. And recognize that's a big ask right now with supply chain management for some of the hardware that they would need, but they should have done this a decade ago.
Yeah.
They should have done this 5 years ago.
They should have, at any point, they should have done this. They should have done this as soon as it was readily available. But no, they just are letting.
I sincerely hope that they've got that's not just the sort of thing that they're pushing, that they've actually got people working on development for rolling that out.
Because on one hand, if you're really gruff, like a gruff kind of person, you're like, a sale's a sale. I don't care who buys it. But it's like the people aren't going to buy stuff online from you ever because they just don't trust the process. So no, it's not a sale's not a sale at a point because you're just creating such a bad experience and people are just going to go to Sweetwater 100% of the time. That's why Sweetwater's doing so well. You don't hear Sweetwater talk about like where are all of our customers. They know exactly where they are.
Sure. Well, and
They're on the
Guitar
other-
Center's
they're
also
on the
started
other
to.
end-
They've
they're on
also
the other
started to
end of the
adopt
telephone.
some of the Sweetwater model in terms of warm calling and calling back folks who have ever purchased.
Yeah,
And they've been
I have
doing that
a
slowly
guitar
for a
for that.
while. People are just now
Yeah.
starting to catch on. But for holiday sales weekends, when I was working there back in 2017, I was handed a stack of 10-point font with 3 pages worth of customers that needed to call by end of day. Say, hey, remember us? You purchased drumsticks 6 months ago. Here's a sale.
Yeah, I have a woman call from Guitar Center every once in a while and leave a message like, "Hey, Emily, it's so-and-so from Guitar Center. Call me if you ever need anything." I'm like, neat. I buy things sometimes, but normally I just like beg for it from other people. Thanks.
Yep.
Cool. Bye. You guys gonna give me a bass guitar for tour? I tried so hard to get another bass guitar for tour. It just didn't happen. I hope this one survives.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Tour? Wait, what tour? What are you talking about?
I'm going on tour at the end of this week.
What?
Yeah. So on Friday, May 6th, we'll be in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
You to what?
Let me pull up my itinerary just so that we can get everything correct. I'm going to pull up my itinerary and read it on the radio. Read it in the radio.
Telling that dumb Idaho joke since like the 3rd grade.
Idaho what? I heard you. I just ignored it. Friday, May 6th will be at Backwoods Whiskey Bar in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Saturday, May 7th will be at Zootown Arts Community Center in Missoula, Montana. Monday, May 9th will be at Wicked Spud Bar and Grill in Sun Valley, Idaho. Tuesday, May 10th will probably be at Willie B's in Boise, Idaho. That's my birthday. Wednesday, May 11th will be at Bale Breaker Brewery in Yakima.
Bale Breaker
Brewery, Yakima.
I can't remember. Is that corporate beer?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to look this up.
I don't drink beer. I wish we were playing at a winery because Yakima's got such great wine. I'm kind of bummed that we're playing a brewery in Yakima instead of a winery. But they have lots of hops, though, don't they? Yeah, they got a lot of hops. I guess they got great beer. Thursday, May 12th, the White Eagle in Portland, Oregon. And then Friday, May 13th, Hotel Albatross in Seattle, Washington. So come see us. Do we have any listeners in Coeur d'Alene? I don't know. I have no idea.
Bale Breaker is the 3rd largest independent craft brewery in Washington.
Oh.
Heck yeah. Independent beer.
Indie beer. Neat.
Whenever possible, I refuse to purchase corporate beer. But
we have not a ton of listeners in Idaho. Let's see. Let's go back 12 months. Yeah. Not our biggest state. More in Oregon, so a lot in Texas. Holy moly. Why do we have so many Pennsylvania listeners? Hi, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Pennsylvania.
Hello. We love you, Pennsylvania, New York, and Texas, and California. We love you, too. All right.
I've been to Pennsylvania once, briefly.
Scrapple. Philly cheesesteaks.
It was in middle school, and it was part of the classic Civil War battleground in Washington, D.C., summer vacation tour.
Gettysburg.
And just right over the border into Gettysburg, and then for like half a day. And then we were out of Pennsylvania. That was it.
Wow, I love Wawa, Pennsylvanians. I love me to go to Wawa.
Never been to Wawa.
It is so clean, so tasty. Great sandwiches. Love Wawa. If you send me a Wawa shirt, I will wear it.
Every time I hear Wawa, there's it Rihanna. It's got that one song, wow, 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 or whatever.
I don't know. I really don't know. Do you want to see the other new thing I got?
Sure.
It's from the Gretsch Electromagnetic series. It's a full hollow body.
Full hollow.
Double cutout, white with gold hardware
Yeah.
and cream binding. It's so pretty.
That's pretty handsome.
It is.
That will look really nice next to your telly.
It's got country gentleman vibes. It's not, but it has the vibes. It has a Bigsby.
Yep. I do love a Bixby.
I love it. I've been having a lot of fun. There's a demo coming out on the day this podcast episode launches, and I do play this. I do play it through this, so it gets big, nasty sounds with that pedal. Let's just say.
Ooh, radical.
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
No, okay, good. You didn't. Neat. So,
are you concerned that I would say radical radishes?
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, I did it. Here it is. This is happening.
He did it.
It's the new trend.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hottest thing off the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Now that we've all forgotten that, Pete Davidson is with Kim and not rightfully so with Taylor Swift.
Why would he be with Taylor Swift?
Because it's a power couple, and I've been pulling for it for years. Stand by it. And by years, I mean really just the tail end of 2021.
Pete Davidson with Taylor Swift to be a power couple?
Yeah.
They're different kinds of weird. Well, because I get Kim because I feel like she's chaotic. There's a lot of chaos there, and I feel like Taylor Swift is very orderly.
Yep.
So I don't see it.
I think they'd bring the best out of each other, and it would be fun to watch.
I don't know.
I expect to be invited to the wedding when it happens, by the way.
Taylor, invite Petey Boy to your wedding.
The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now.
She's dead. If you'd like to support the Get Offset podcast, you can, and have conversations like these all the time with us directly. You can join our Patreon at the $5 a month club. You get access to our exclusive Discord server where we talk about dumb shit like this just constantly.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Prime example, our dear friend Joe, who's a patron.
Hi,
Joe. Joe's great.
Hi, Joe.
And everyone should be more like Joe.
Yeah. And then Tom shares photographs of food that make us all very jealous.
Indeed. Everybody should be like Tom.
Noah shares great memes.
Where's Noah been? Noah, please, if you're listening to this,
Noah,
we miss you.
Back. Noah, come back. I really needed Noah the other day when someone commented something about how anti-Nazis meant anti-Trump and that some conservatives play guitar. And I said, man, you're really just telling on yourself if you think that like an anti-Nazi thing is an anti-conservative thing.
Yeah. That was...
And then he told me to wake up. And I was like, man, I am wide awake. What else? Who else should we... Lauren, love them.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, Brett, Damien has... always great stories and fun videos. Jason Fuzzmonger, Jason Porritt, another Jason Weiser, so many Jasons. Jeff Covey, Jennifer, Joan of Heart, Joe Braga, Joe, Jason Welsh, Matt. Well, there's a lot of people in here. David Ishizaka. Jim.
Why don't we have any Andrews?
You are. Alec, Zach, Paul, Value Vinyl, Steve.
If your name is Andrew and you're listening to this, this is your sign.
Holly. How you doing, Holly? Come back to the Discord. We miss you. All right, done with that. That's enough of that. So let's talk about some newsy things. Do you have anything?
I wanted to talk about a little bit more about the speaker cranker, more about what's under the hood.
The special cranker.
Yes, the special cranker.
Yeah, because we did talk about, because this thing's only $99, and you can get one via the affiliate links in the video description.
Indeed. But the what's under the hood is what's particularly fascinating to me, because it's part of a larger trend that we've been seeing for years now, kind of originating outside of the country and has been working its way into U.S. manufacturing. That's SMD instead of through-hole hand-populated circuit boards.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's a lot. I'm fascinated to see this kind of come through, because for the longest time, it was this idea that, that through-hole hand-populated or hand-wired or all the,
That's what makes something boutique, right?
It's what makes something boutique. It's what makes something sound good. It's what makes something reliable, stuff like that. And so, SMD started coming out of manufacturing, Asian manufacturing. We started seeing a great example.
It's automatable.
It's automatable. It's a lot easier to mass produce. It's a lot cheaper. And so a prime example is, if you've ever looked through a Boss forum, someone's looking for a Boss pedal from like before 2006 or whatever the year was that they started switching over. What people are looking for is a pedal that they can modify themselves. If you go to Guitar Center today or Sweetwater and you purchase a Boss DS1 new in box, you can't really modify it the same way that we've been seeing modifications for years. And the reason why is it's just an SMD populated board. So it's super tiny. And you can't really, your average Joe can't, service those.
No.
You need more equipment than just a solder gun and a book about, low voltage electronics.
Yeah. Yeah. Those get really tiny. Think about like the things in your like camera or phone.
Sure. I mean, you need like a little magnifying glass. You go.
Yeah. A helping hands.
Yes.
But times 10.
Yep.
So I like I said, like these were originally like issued in Japan, and I don't think those were SMB.
No, those are limited run.
Yeah. So when these were re-released, they refigured it a bit, obviously. So I thought that those special run would kind of immediately go down in price, and I don't think they have, and I think that's why.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. It's only been a couple of days.
Yeah. I hope they do, because I hate to see those flippers, trying to take advantage of, people who just because they love a brand or want a sound. But if all you want is a sound and the brand, then this is going to get you the special cranker, and you shouldn't spend money like thousands of dollars, $1,000.
Well,
like
so it's
$500.
It's interesting to hear someone say that, because even a few years ago, someone would have said, "Well, SMD just doesn't sound as good. It sounds a bit more brittle." There's just kind of, whether or not that was true or not, I don't think it is.
I mean, even if it does, I don't think it's going to be a $900 difference.
No, but it's the perception of how the manufacturing process plays out into the end quality of the product. Quality in terms of sound, operation, not necessarily in serviceability.
Yeah,
the serviceability is a harder sell for that. But we've been seeing this with a number of manufacturers, and I'm fascinated watching this start to take over in the boutique community.
I don't know if take over is the right phrase. I think just become a little bit more prominent, because it become an option in some of their offerings.
Sure.
Because I like seeing brands like Earthquaker, who do sell, high-end boutique gear, also have a lower level option. It's like Fender having Squier or Gibson having Epiphone. Have something a little bit more affordable that, an average, working class player, shout out to working class music, can very easily get their hands on. Sure. And have like access to something that's perceived as cool, versus, just Amazon basics.
Right.
Which, you don't want to, because if you don't want to like support Amazon, if you don't want to like have like this board with these like weird name companies that just kind of looks cheap, it makes you kind of feel weird. Like, you can still support a company based in the United States.
Yep.
Run
Akron,
by
Ohio.
run by women. Like Julie is the CEO of the company or president. I forget. I think it's CEO. That hires, people in Akron, Ohio. Maybe these weren't made in Akron, Ohio completely, but you can still do that with your money. And I think that's
Right.
really neat. And it's also just like I've read once that if you go to your first baseball game before you're 6, you spend like, I'm making up the stat, like, like 80% more over the course of your life, or like, gosh, you spend so much more money on baseball for the rest of your life if you go to a baseball game before the age of 6 versus if you go after you turn 16.
Sure, because I mean, nostalgia.
Yeah,
There's an association with that brand that carries with you for an extended period of time. So if this is one of like your first boutique pedals, or one of your first
pedals, period. Yeah,
jinx.
I don't think it's an accident that this is the DS1 color. I mean, obviously it's not a DS1 circuit, but early guitar pedal color. You think it's an accident?
No, I cringe at that thought.
It's not a DS1, but like,
no,
it's bright. Now, maybe stupid thing to say, probably, but like it harkens to me because I just have a turbo distortion over there.
Well, so this isn't the first unit that Earthquaker has done. So Plumes was the first one that they did. Yeah. So seeing a second one come through, I think is fascinating. I think is indicative of more to come.
Yeah.
If I had to take a gander. I know they're not the only company as well in the, historically boutique market. JHS is another brand that's not a brand I would necessarily consider to be boutique at this point, but has done a number of runs with SMD.
Yeah. I mean, I think they still hand assemble a lot of their pedals.
I think JHS has moved to a lot more SMD. I want to say a lot of their. I'd have to double check fact, so don't quote me on this.
I haven't picked up one of their pedals in so long, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't get one of their preamps to look inside of it to see what it looked like.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see it kind of take over. I'm vaguely aware that John Cusack has been doing some of the shadow manufacturing for some of the brands in the industry, and I believe some of what he does is SMD as well. That's done here in the U.S.
All right. Well, I trust him to do that.
I don't know if he's only one. It's just that's one of the things I heard floating around.
Yeah. So that's cool. Use your ears, and if you like the way something sounds, then buy it. If you don't like the way something sounds, then don't buy it.
For sure.
I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. And that's what we talk about a lot in demos. I know it's been a very long time since we've had one of those videos pop up that's like demo artists can't be trusted. Because I think people realize that like you just got to use your ears a little bit. So you got to trust your instincts about something. And if something doesn't seem like it's going to be right for you, but like, dude, it's at $99. Try it. I like for a guitar pedal, that's for a distortion pedal that's this versatile, that has germanium and silicon. $99.
Yeah, I mean that's loaded up to the gills with more than what you'd expect out of some of the other offerings in the range. Yeah. Plumes is the same way. Plumes, blows the TS9 out of the water for almost the exact same price.
That's why it's so popular in like the guitar pedal Reddit right now.
Sure.
Like it's yeah. And the Plumes comes in all these colorful, really, really colorful. Oh my gosh.
They've done a number of colorways.
Yeah, I am really curious. I'm sure they'll do more colorways with this, but I know this is one that you'll want.
Yep. No, I'm going to need a look at my income status to figure out if I can sneak out $100 out of this month's budget.
Yeah. Use that Sweetwater affiliate link.
I will.
Yeah. think I convinced Jeff from Jerf to use the Catalyst 100 amp on tour.
There you go.
He was like, I want to get a new, and last rehearsal, he's like, I want to get a new amp. And the drummer and I were both trying to convince him to not get a tube amp right now.
Right.
Because he already has a tube amp, and we're like, and the drummer was actually trying to get him to get like the same tone master that you have.
It's a great amp.
Yeah.
And for touring, I mean, if you get 90, even if you don't think it's 100%, it's 90%, 95%.
For the places that we're playing, no one's going to notice 75%, to be fucking honest.
There is that, but the reliability aspect,
yeah. You have to worry about your babying your amp.
Right.
You don't have to worry about weight. Weight.
We aren't 19 anymore. We can't just slug around super heavy amps just because we can.
I'm a lot stronger now than I was at 19, but still. So I think I've convinced him to bring the Catalyst 100. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be good for him. I'll just have to get him set up on like some presets.
Sure.
So he's like, it's a lot of technology. I'm like, it's not really. Like, you don't need to use the app.
It's intimidating up front. I'll give him that.
It can be. But honestly, once you dial in your sounds, you never need to think about it again.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I told him. I'm like, yeah, do you have a smartphone or something? All right. So honestly, like if I have time today or tomorrow, I might like go ahead. I'm like, I know he's going to like the boutique sound. Right. And I might go ahead and start dialing things in and just kind of refresh. Cause I did that a while ago. So, like I have the foot switch, so that's going to be good for him too. Maybe he won't have to bring his boost pedal. But I also have him hooked up with the Cattle and Bread Tribute because he was not liking having his EP booster running into his tube screamer.
Ooh, yeah.
He's like, it's a lot of mids. And then I look at his amp and the mids are cranked. I'm like, my guy.
Yep.
I can tell you why there's so much mids just by looking at this. So I was like, okay, well, since you have so many mids forward pedals, let's turn the mids down there on the amp. And then I was explaining the tribute to him as well. I'm like, maybe we can use this one for some gain, and then we can put the booster after it so it just gets louder and maintains the same characteristics because it sounds like that's what you want. And there's a low mid hump there. So like it won't be like too much extra. So I've been trying to explain like signal chains to him more, and it's been like fun. It's always really fun to like have these conversations with folk who, haven't been like around a lot of pedals lately. So
it's a fun discovery process. You you've got all of these tools at your fingertips. So if you don't know how to use them, it's not going to get you very far. Learning how to use your gear is always been the advice that is from some of my best mentors has been just consistent. It's the don't get more gear, learn to use the gear that you have.
Yeah.
You can get good sounds out of an SD1.
Yeah. And like moving things around in your signal chain being important.
Yep.
Yeah. So how that works. So
I think that's a good place to
move on to the next topic. So I figured we could finish up this brunch-y conversation with maybe a boozy-ish brunch. Metallica has a whiskey. Have you read about this? It's Ride the Lightning.
Yep. I have heard bits and pieces about said whiskey.
It says it's, quote, created using sonic vibrations from their concert. I don't know what that means.
It means where the barrels are being stored, they've got speakers in their warehouse pointing at them, blasting the music to help coax the flavors out of the barrels.
I'm sorry, that can't be science. That cannot. It just cannot. It cannot have any impact. It cannot.
I mean, maybe it does. That is a force being applied to the storage container that provides flavor.
But it can't be like Metallica can't make it any difference other than like just having something go boom, boom, boom.
Oh, sure.
Boom. This proprietary process involves the use of low hertz frequencies from the heavy metal band's music to vibrate the barrels, quote, causing a greater interaction between the whiskey and the wood, forcing the liquid further into the barrel and extracting more flavor and color.
Sure.
Maybe. But I'm not a whiskey scientist, but that just seems.
I think that's the right amount of funky snobbishness for American whiskey enthusiasts.
Man, I think rye is real nasty. I was gifted a bottle of Jim Beam rye after an event once, but yuck.
Well, it's okay if it's not your thing, but I would like to just say, put this out there. Maybe that's not the best representation of what rye is.
Maybe not.
No, I think that, Metallica did this a few years ago with a bourbon as well, I think.
Jim Beam rye review.
I imagine that gets a 3 out of 5.
$82.
Yeah, so about a 3 out of 5.
I guess. Yeah, 3 out of 5. Yeah. Middle of the road.
I'm not sure there's anything lower on the road. That's a thing.
Isn't James Hetfield like famously sober?
Famously in and out of rehab, yeah. Along with, some of the other members of the group.
Oh my God, guys.
But, I'm fascinated by it from like a branding perspective.
Yeah.
Kind of taking something that, may or may not have any real impact and just tacking it on as part of the marketing aspect. I think is kind of fascinating. Especially
it's so stupid. So it's like I find it obnoxious.
Oh, it's absolutely obnoxious. But I mean, want to talk about obnoxious and whiskey? It's the Nick Offerman edition of from Lagavulin for Scotch whiskey. Playing off of the.
But I trust his taste as a connoisseur of whiskey.
Wasn't that good?
Okay. Well, I don't know anything about. No, I don't think Scotch is that good.
Scotch is a range, much more so than bourbon or rye. But
well, that's because there's not like a rule of what makes Scotch.
There's some rules.
Hard. It's like hard and fast.
But there's some Scotches are deeply smoky and peaty. Some are just straight up dessert. Some are downright savory. I mean, there's just a whole range of different flavors you can get out of it.
They kind of all taste like what I imagine my clutch tastes like if I licked it.
That's not a great thing to think about. But I stand by it being range. But the point here is this is clearly a gimmick. Nick Offerman also went on to do, I think they did another whiskey that was aged in like Guinness barrels or something like that, or Guinness that was aged in whiskey barrels. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, they do lots of beer and things aged in whiskey. They do everything gets aged in whiskey barrels. I think Tabasco's hot sauce is like originally aged in whiskey barrels.
I mean, there's so much flavor to be had, but it's fascinating to take a look and see how it takes off. What I can tell you is, for the folks that I know from the UK, the Offerman edition Lagavulin stuff, it just annoys the heck out of them. They're not a fan. They're annoyed, and they just see it as a American trivialized, just kind of a gimmick to get the Americans to buy some of the stuff that the Brits wouldn't have. Yeah,
I'm sure. Good for them.
So that's kind of how I feel about the Metallica bourbon. Is maybe this is just a group of bourbon or rye that wasn't maybe just massed from Heaven Hill or one of the other major distilleries that they weren't sure what they're going to do with, and someone said, "Yeah, we could probably make that marketable, not for the flavor itself, but for an association with another brand."
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. It's so stupid, but whatever. People will be very excited to get it and have it.
Sure.
Like it's kind of like Prince fans will how you can't copyright a title. You
Yep.
can't. So like I saw on some Prince Reddit in my feed the other day, someone bought at Walmart a wine called Purple Rain. One, I assume that Purple Rain at some point has been trademarked, so I think they're going to get a CCD, CC to 50. But these people were excited to buy it. Had no association with Prince. It was just called Purple Rain. And I'll be honest, when I see like a Purple Rain cocktail on a menu, I do look at it. It's marketing. And I hate when marketing works on me, but as a marketer, I appreciate it.
When I see a guitar pedal that's orange, I'm immediately ready to open my pocketbooks.
Yes. Jesus.
Sure. I mean, branding is a hell of a drug. And sometimes we notice that it's what it's doing. Sometimes we don't. A Metallica branded rye whiskey is absolutely a nearly shameless utilization, but they're going to sell out. It's going to do just fine.
Oh my God.
They're going to turn a profit on it and go laughing to the bank. And to that I say, good for you. Happy for you.
Yeah. Hap.
I don't have a problem with it. They made a product that people are willing to pay money for.
Yeah, good for them.
Stamp of approval.
Stamp of approval.
Look, I'm just saying, like, if I was over at somebody's place, they're like, hey, man, like, I got this rye whiskey. I've been waiting for people to come over so I can crack it open. You want to try some? And that's what it ends up being. I drank it. Yeah. I give it a try.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would try. I might. I would try.
The curiosity has my curiosity's peaked enough that I want to try it, but not want to have to pay for it.
No. I mean, I wonder how much it is. Let's see if they say. They've unveiled it.
My guess is 50 to 60.
Let's see. It's available for pre-order.
Although with that demographic, Metallica fans being a little bit older, probably with a bit more cash, I could see that going for over 100.
Just because I have more cash doesn't mean I want to pay more cash. It just is coming soon is all I'm seeing. Wait, where is it? Find it. Pre-order now. Oh, all right. I just had $80. $80.
There we go.
All right. I think that's a good place to end it. Perhaps, maybe.
It looks like the bourbon that they had is still available for like $50.
Ew. Let's see what was it called?
Blackened American whiskey
review.
And the Ride of the Lightning.
Oh, that got a 7.7 out of 10 from Flaviar.
I don't have any respect for that brand though, so don't read the review.
The whiskyjug.com gave it 3.4 out of 5. The Whiskey Wash gave it 3 out of 5. Actually, technically a 2.9. These are not good reviews.
No.
Middle of the road whiskey.
Yep. No, that's bottom shelf whiskey in a top shelf bottle.
The 31 whiskey gave it 2 stars.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Well, there you go. You've got to admit, though, Ride the Lightning is a great name. It's a great name.
It's an easy pun. Pros and cons. Pros. Bottle design is visually stunning, ergonomically easy to use. Oh, God. When the pros are just the bottle design.
Bottle design can be part of it. That's fine.
Can, but my hair is big right now.
All right.
Did you see the portrait I took at the Guitar House where it looks like I have like a wind machine? It's a great portrait. Sorry.
I probably saw it. I don't think I registered that there's a wind machine involved.
There's no wind machine involved. It just looked like it.
Oh.
Cool. Well, everyone out there, please like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon. Use our affiliate links when you're doing your shopping, when you're buying that special cranker. What else, Andrew?
Have a wonderful week, folks.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily.
My name is Andrew.
Goodbye.
Bye.